Good morning and welcome to this autumnal morning flow. It's now autumn in the UK and I can definitely feel a change in energy. It's darker in the mornings, I want to sleep more, I want to slow down, ready for that darker period of the year. So join me for this energising flow which is designed to get your body moving, get some more energy, ready for the darker seasons ahead. So we're going to start off at the top of our mats for this one. If you've got some blocks, I'd suggest having them handy. If not, you can use books, or if you'd rather not use them, you don't have to. Also, a strap is quite good. We're going to do some hamstring stretches at the end, so it's quite a good way just to take the strain off of trying to stretch your legs. If you don't have a strap, you can use a belt, anything like that, or the string from a dressing gown. So we're going to start standing up. We're just going to ground ourselves into the mat. Maybe just bring your heels off the mat, bring your toes off the mat, just rocking backwards and forwards here. Just really feeling the floor beneath you. Good. And the next time we roll onto our heels, we're just going to pick all of our toes up, spread them wide, and place them down on the mat, starting with the baby toe, working our way up to our big toe. Really feeling our feet grounded, strong onto the mat. We're going to tuck our pelvis in, engage the core slightly, roll the shoulders up and back, palms open into Tadasana, mountain pose. Good, really strong posture here. Really feel your feet pressing against the floor. Relax the shoulders, relax the neck, have a slight bend in the knees. Raise the chin slightly, and we're just going to close our eyes and take a couple of deep breaths in this posture. Inhale, feeling the belly button pushing in towards the spine, the chest lift, the shoulders rise. And exhale, feeling the shoulders drop away from the ears, the belly button pushing out, belly inflamed like a balloon. Good. We're going to do this a couple of times in your own breath, just really feeling the rising and falling of the belly. And the shoulders moving up and down as you inhale and exhale. Maybe ask yourself, how do you feel today? Is there any stress in the body? How awake do you feel right now? Maybe you want to set an intention for today. Think about the tasks you've got ahead of you, if any. How can you be more present today? Really being mindful of what you can hear, what you can smell, what you can feel in this moment. Maybe wiggle the fingers slightly, just get the blood flowing in the arms. You twist at the elbows. Good. Maybe take some shoulder rolls here. Good. Bring the shoulders up towards the ears and then back down. Back. Good, keeping that slight bend in the knees. Good. And then on our next inhale, we're going to scoop the arms up overhead, slightly bending the knees, arms up to the ceiling, maybe a slight back bend, opening the chin towards the ceiling, open the throat. Good. and then exhale, swan diving forward, bringing the arms down towards the hips, bending at the knees, folding forward, good. Keeping the knees bent here. You come into a ragdoll, bending at the elbows, grabbing hold of opposite elbows. Just sway gently here, feeling into the body. You feel tightness in the hamstrings, in the legs, and the lower back. Just listen to how it feels in your body. If it's sore, come out of it. Just bend your knees more and roll up. If it's tight, breathe through it. This is what your body needs. When it's tight, it means it needs to be worked on. It needs to be used. If you don't use it, you lose it. You lose the ability to walk freely, to move your body the way it needs to be moved. So it's really important that we make time for our health. Good, and then we'll just let our arms drop. If this feels uncomfortable, you can use your blocks here just to take that pressure off the back by folding. You can use the blocks just to rest your arms on here. Good, we're going to inhale again, exhale, bending at the waist. Getting that nice stretch in the hamstrings. You might feel some pins and needles, that's okay, it's just the blood flow working. I personally can feel a lot of tightness here in my right leg. So this is good for me, just to relax, let go of any tension in the body. Good. And then on the next inhale, we're going to sweep our arms up overhead, coming into standing again, just gently unraveling, making sure the lower back is protected, engaging the core, bringing the arms up overhead again. Lifting the chin towards the ceiling. You may want to open your eyes, look up, spread the fingertips, get the blood moving in the fingertips. We want to avoid things like arthritis. Get them fingertips working. Move all the ligaments within your arms and your hands. Good, and then when we exhale, we're going to twist to the right. So left arm comes forward, right arm goes back. Bringing the arms down, looking over that right shoulder. Get a nice spinal twist here. Then inhale, arms come up overhead, back to the center. Lifting the chin, opening up the throat. Exhale, the opposite way. So we're twisting left this time. Left arm comes forward, right arm goes back. Arms down. Good, inhale, up to center. Exhale, twist right again. Left arm forward, right arm back. Good, looking over that right shoulder. Inhale to center, keeping the feet flat on the mat here, not moving the feet. Exhale, twist left, left arm forward, right arm back. Bringing the arms down, looking over that left shoulder. Good, we're going to do this one more time on each side. Inhale. Arms come up to center, exhale, twist left, good. So you can get that a little bit deeper into the twist, looking over the right shoulder. Inhale, back to center, exhale, twist left, good. You'll see we're doing this nice and slow, we're just really feeling into the body. It's not a race, good. And then on our next inhale, coming back to center, exhale, swan dive forward. So we're bending at the hips. We're not using our back, we're bending at the hips, bringing the arms down, nice and slow, feeling that stretch in the backs of the hamstrings, the lower back, good. Again, if this is really tight in the hamstrings, don't overdo it. You know, we're not in competition with anyone. Listen to your body, bend your knees as much as you can. If it's a case of only having your knees bent this much, that's absolutely fine. Listen to how it feels in the body. Good. And then from here, we're going to come into a plank pose. So we're going to bring both palms onto the mat, bending the knees. We're going to walk our right foot back first, and then our left into plank pose here. Good. If this is too much, you can bring your elbows down onto an elbow plank, or you can simply have your knees down and just be in this position. Just See how it feels for you. Good. So from here, we're then going to come into a chaturanga. So you can, again, have your knees down, bent elbows, chaturanga like this. So we're bringing the chest down towards the mat, and then we're going to scoop ourselves up into an upward facing dog, engaging the thighs, lifting the knees off the mat, really working the shoulders here and the legs. Good. Or you could have, from the plank, you could have done a full bent elbows chaturanga, bringing yourself into up dog. Good. Nice back stretch here. It's quite intense, so if you feel it's too much, just simply come down, lowering the chin onto the mat. Good. And then from here, we're going to push ourselves up, coming back into child's pose. Good. Knees as wide as the hips. Forehead onto the mat. Arm stretch overhead. Getting a nice shoulder stretch here. Good. Inhale and exhale. And then on your next inhale, you're going to come up onto tabletop. I'm just going to move my blocks out of the way here. And we're going to come into puppy pose, which is quite a strong shoulder opener here. So there's a few options. So starting in tabletop, you want your wrists to be in line with your shoulders and your knees to be in line with your hips. So you don't want to be too far forward or too far back. You want that nice strong position. Engage the core slightly so you're taking any pressure off the lower back. I'm going to walk to the back of my mat here to be in this position, just so I've got more space at the front to walk my arms out. So yeah, from tabletop, we're going to start to crawl our hands forward until our chest starts to sink towards the mat. So we're kind of keeping the elbows straight and we're bringing the chest towards the mat. You feel that stretch in the lower back and the shoulders. If that's too much, you can do one hand at a time. So bend one elbow, straighten out the other one. So I've got my left arm straight, my right arm bent here. And I'm just kind of bringing the chest towards the mat, keeping that elbow bent, and then we're just working on the left shoulder in this case. So you can bring yourself as far forward, as far back as you want, but the aim is to try and keep your hips in line with your knees and you're walking your arms. So it's more of a kind of lower back / shoulder stretch. So your back's arching and your shoulders are stretching out. Bring your forehead to the mat if you want to use both arms at once. Just let your forehead fall to the mat. Breathe in here, feeling that stretch in the shoulders. Good, really well done. It's quite intense. And again, if you've got one arm bent, just swap over after 3 breaths on each side. I'm going to keep both arms out for this one, but you do whatever works for you. If you have got more flexibility in the shoulders, you can bring your chin towards the mat and just feel that stretch more within the shoulder blades and the lower back. Good. And then once you've done 3 breaths on each side, if you were doing it one-handed, or 3 breaths if you're doing both arms, we're going to come back to tabletop. And from here we're going to come into thread the needle. So keeping our position like this, we are then going to bring our knees out as wide as the mat. So we've got a good, strong, stable position, and we're going to bring our big toes to touch so that we're like this. And then from here, we're going to take the back of our palm behind our head. So on the top of our head, well, the back of our head, but the top of the back, if that makes sense. We're going to start with the right elbow. We're going to inhale, lifting that right elbow up towards the ceiling, twisting right. Exhale, bringing that right elbow past the left elbow. And again, inhale, right elbow comes up. Exhale, right elbow comes down. Again, inhale, right elbow comes up. Exhale, right elbow comes down. And the next time we inhale, we're going to open up that whole arm towards the ceiling. And exhale, threading that right wrist, right arm past the left wrist. Good. Until the right shoulder comes flat onto the mat like so. So you can shuffle yourself into position here if you need to get more of a twist. Bring more into that right shoulder. You can bring the left arm up towards the ceiling. You can tuck that left palm in towards the right thigh, on the inside of the right thigh, and open up the left shoulder. Or you can keep the back of the left palm resting on the lower back. Or you can just simply keep that arm and keep the palm in front of the right elbow. Whatever works for you. Aiming to stretch the shoulder blade here. If this feels really uncomfortable on your hips, you can use a block or a book or even a blanket if you've got a blanket. Let me get one just to show you. So just roll something up to put in between your heels and your bum, just to take any pressure off. You can just simply sit onto that so you're not kind of overstraining the muscles, and you can just get a nice shoulder stretch this way. If that position's too much, you can come to lie flat onto the mat, bringing the shoulder through like so. Same here, shoulder twist, but you're just lying flat on the mat, looking over the left side of the room with your right shoulder on the mat. And again, you've got the options. You can walk the left arm overhead, or you can wrap the left arm to the right hand side of the mat, trying to twist that left shoulder up towards the ceiling. So whichever position you're in. For me, I was in this one. When you're ready, I'm going to bring, if you're in this position, bringing that left arm back up towards the ceiling. We're going to bring the left palm in front of the right elbow, and we're going to push our right arm back up towards the ceiling again. And just, if you're in this position, just unthreading that right arm and then swapping over onto the left side, whichever way works for you. If you've been in this one, we're going to do the same on the opposite side. So even if you're doing the lying down position, come into tabletop if you can, and we're going to do the elbow opener on the other side. So from here, we're going to take the back of the left palm on the back of the head. We're going to inhale, lift the left elbow up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bringing that left elbow past the right elbow. Inhale, left arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, left arm past the right elbow. Again, left arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale, left arm past the right elbow. And last time, when you bring that left arm up, unraveling the whole arm. Exhale, threading it through past the right wrist. And again, whichever option you're in, if you're coming onto this position, then just come flat onto the mat now. And getting that stretch into the shoulder. Good. Really feeling that intense stretch within the shoulder blade and also the thoracic spine. Really twisting into the spine. Good. Good. next inhale, we're going to unravel ourselves and meet back into tabletop. If you're in this position, just making sure to take that left arm back up again, just to counteract the stretch. And then back into tabletop. Brilliant. From here we're going to do some hip circles. So I'm going to walk my arms, my hands further out. I'm just going to start to bring my hips in a big anti-clockwise circle to begin with, up towards my wrists, and then back towards my heels, keeping the hands flat onto the mat. So it doesn't matter if your hips don't come all the way back towards, your buttocks doesn't come back towards your heels. Just go as far as you can, stretching out the shoulders and the hips. And then once we get back towards our wrists, we'll stop in the centre and go the opposite way. So I went anti-clockwise first, now I'm going clockwise. Good. And then when we next come towards our wrists, we're going to come back into tabletop, walking our arms back so that we've got that nice strong position again. Our elbows and wrists are in line, same with our hips and our knees. So from here we're going to do a bit of a hamstring stretch. So we're going to take our right foot forward in between our hands and walk that foot away from us. We're going to come into a one-legged hamstring stretch. So I'm going to use my blocks for this one. I can find them around the room. So yes, we're in this position. If you've got your blocks or books, or if you don't have them, that's fine. I'm gonna just take the blocks on either side if you're using them, and then just start to sit back towards your heels. So we're straightening out that right leg and bring these blocks a bit closer. Good. Inhale, get a bit more space in the body. Exhale, really pushing down towards the heels. I can particularly feel this stretch in my glute muscles. A bit of a tight right leg at the moment, so this is really good just to stretch it all out. And again, you can put a blanket between your heel and your glute there on the other leg if you need that bit extra cushioning. Good. And then the next inhale, we're just going to bring that right foot flat to the mat again. Just move them blocks out the side. And I'm going to walk this right foot to the edge of the mat. So I'm going to come into a bit of a lizard pose. So keeping that left palm flat onto the mat. I'm going to take the right palm on the inside of the right knee. I'm going to inhale, twist right. So as we twist, our shoulders are going towards the right side. And then gently kind of push on that right leg just above the knee. So you don't want to be pressing on the knee joint. And we're just opening up the insides of the hips here. So good groin stretch and hip stretch. And also shoulders as well. Good. Twisting right, really feeling that within the lower body. You can use a block here if it's too much having your hand flat on the mat. You can just simply place it on a block. Good. And then on the next inhale, coming back, we're going to walk that foot back into the frame, our palms. Good. And then this time we're going to take that right foot back. So we're back in tabletop again. And then swapping over, bringing that left foot forward. Good. So this time we're going to come into our half hamstring stretch again. So from here, if you're using blocks, you can bring them back. We're going to inhale. Bring some air into the body, and then exhale, pushing the glutes back towards the heel, and then blocks back a bit. Good. flexing the feet, pointing the toes towards the ceiling. Really feeling that stretch down the left leg now. Good. Good, and the next inhale, we're just going to bring that foot flat to the mat again. This time we're going to walk the left foot towards the left side of the mat, so it's on the edge, and we're going to come into that lizard pose again. So bring the palms on the inside of the left leg, keeping that right palm flat to the mat. Take the left palm, just rest it above the knee, and then exhale, just gently pushing that left leg away from you, twisting left, looking over the left shoulder. If you've got any pain in the glutes or the groin here, don't press on the leg. This is just to open up a little bit more if you wish. Good. Then the next inhale, we're going to walk that left foot back into the centre, frame that left foot, take that left foot back so we're in tabletop again. Good. Excellent. So now we're going to come into down dog. So from here, a strong tabletop position, we're going to walk our palms away from us, maybe about 3 palm width away from us. We're going to tuck the toes under and then start to lift the knees off of the mat. So you're hovering like this, and then pushing the bum up towards the ceiling, and then trying to bring the heels flat to the mat. Maybe you want to walk your palms slightly away from you, getting that nice straight line from the wrists to the shoulders. Inhale, bringing a bit more air into the body. Exhale, pushing them heels towards the floor, pressing the palms flat into the mat, bringing the forehead towards the mat. Really intense stretch this. Good. Maybe walk the heels, one leg at a time. Just walk the legs, bending at the knee. Really feeling into the body, feeling any tightness. Good, well done. Really well done. Excellent, good. And then on our next inhale, we're going to bring ourselves into plank again. And then full chaturanga, or knees down, chest lowers towards the mat, lifting the feet. Inhale, scooping the shoulders up into upward facing dog, engaging the legs, bringing the knees off the mat, and then exhale into child's pose. Good. Really well done. And then from here we're going to inhale, walk our hands towards the left side of the mat into a nice side body stretch. Just walking them palms as far to the left as you can, and then bringing the right palm on top of the left, feeling that stretch down the right hand side of the body. Good. And then our next inhale, bringing ourselves back to centre. Exhale, walking ourselves now towards the right side. Good. And then once you've got as far as you can to the right, putting the left palm on top of the right palm. Feeling that stretch now in the left side of the body. And then inhale, bring the palms back into the centre. Exhale, one last deep breath and child pose. And we're going to inhale, walk our palms towards our knees. Just coming up. Let everything settle back down. Good. And then we'll come into tabletop once more. We'll do a couple of cat-cows before we go into lying on our back and do some postures then. So on tabletop, we're going to inhale. Lift the chin towards the ceiling, shoulders towards the ears, belly towards the floor. Into cat pose, cow pose. Exhale into cat, rounding the back, making a C shape with the spine. Shoulders pushing away, chin towards the chest. Inhale, to cat, cow. Exhale to cat, good. One more inhale to cow. Exhale to cat, excellent. Now we're going to just bring our feet to one side, bring them out to the right, and then just coming down onto our back side. We're going to come into the centre of the mat, keeping the feet flat onto the floor, bringing our back down. And we're going to do a bridge pose here, which is really good for the glutes and the thighs. Good, so we're going to bring our palms flat to the mat, spread the fingertips wide, have them as close to your side body as you can. We're going to bring the heels in so that our middle fingers just brush on our heels basically. So we've got a nice strong position here. Good, and then when we inhale, we're going to start to bring the glutes up towards the ceiling, really engage in the glutes here. Maybe you can walk your shoulder blades towards each other slightly, keeping the palms flat onto the mat. If you've got any pinching in the knees, just slightly bring the big toes towards each other. Take the pressure off the knees, engage in the core and the glutes. Good, and then when you exhale, start to unravel, bringing the glutes back down towards the mat. Good, and then again we're going to inhale, bring the glutes up towards the ceiling. And exhale, bring the glutes back down. Good. And then we're going to go up again. Inhale, glutes up towards the ceiling. This time we're going to make sure that our palms are flat to the mat, so we're getting that strength in the arms and keeping that glute strength going. We're going to shoot the right leg up. Feeling that strength within the glutes and the core here, good. Exhale, bringing the right leg back down. Unravel, back down onto the mat, good. We're going to do the same again with the left leg this time. So again, inhale, glutes up towards the ceiling, bringing the left leg up. Flex the toes, point the toes towards the ceiling. Exhale, bringing that foot down, unraveling the glutes back down towards the mat. Excellent. We'll do that one more time on each side. So inhale, bring the glutes up towards the ceiling. Bringing that right leg up, pointing the toes, lifting the glutes as high as you can. Exhale, bring the right leg down, glutes down towards the mat. If they're lifting the legs too much, just focus on doing bridge, bringing the glutes up. Good. And then again, next side, inhale, lift the glutes up. Shooting that left leg up, pointing the toes, lifting your hips towards the ceiling as much as you can, really getting that lift. Good, exhale, bringing that leg down. Well done. Bring yourself together, give yourself a big hug. Wrapping the knees in towards the chest. You just rock side to side. Listening off the lower back, good. And we'll come into happy baby, so we'll grab the outsides of our feet if we can, or you can grab on your shins and just pull the knees in towards the armpits. So you get a nice hip stretch here and groin stretch. Good, as we exhale, trying to get that a little bit deeper into the body. Good, and then on your next exhale, bring the soles of the feet back onto the mat. We're going to come into a hamstring stretch before we then go into supine twist. So from here we're going to have the soles of our feet flat to the mat, knees facing towards the ceiling. We're going to straighten one leg, so we're going to straighten the left leg to begin with. And then we're going to bring the right knee in towards the chest, so knees bent, hugging that right knee in. And then when we inhale, we're going to straighten that right leg, bringing it up towards the ceiling, trying to bring that right leg in towards your chest, getting that stretch. You might feel it in the IT band. Good, flexing the heel. This is when you can use a strap just to take that pressure off. If you do have quite tight hamstrings in your IT band, then you can use a strap or a belt just to take that off. So if you are using a strap, keeping that leg as straight as you can, and you're just using the strap basically to kind of bring that leg nice and straight towards the chest. Good, I can feel the shaking in my leg. It's a good sign. Quite intense, so whenever you want to come out, you can. Otherwise, on your next inhale, one last big bit of air into the lungs. Exhale, try to pull that leg a little bit more towards the chest. Good. And then your next inhale, just bringing that right leg down. Good. Maybe bring the right sole of the foot to the mat. Right knee in towards the chest, and just give yourself some ankle rotations here. Probably hear mine clicking. Good, and then we'll bring that right leg flat to the mat, and then we'll bend the right knee this time. Sorry, left knee this time, left sole of the foot flat to the mat. Good, and then we'll take the left knee in towards the chest, giving ourselves a little hug. And then when we next inhale, bringing that left leg up straight. Again, you can use a strap here. If not, then just interlacing your palms behind your left thigh and just trying to bring that left leg in towards your chest. Excellent, well done. Good. And then we'll bend at the left knee, bringing that left knee in towards the chest, doing some ankle rotations here. Good. And then this time we'll bring both knees in towards the chest. And then we're going to do it with both legs this time, so we're going to bring them up towards the ceiling to waterfall pose. So I might find quite difficult to keep the knees straight. That's okay, just give a slight bend in the knees. You flex the feet a little bit, and again you can use a strap here. And I'm just going to do the same again. Inhale, straighten out the legs. Exhale, try to bring them more towards the chest. Good. Nice hamstring stretch. If you experience any shaking, that's okay. It's just the muscles working. It's a good sign. Good. And then our next inhale, bringing ourselves back into the middle. We're going to windscreen wiper the feet here, so keeping the feet hip width apart, feet flat to the mat, and we're just going to move our knees from one side and then another. Just loosening off the hips. Good. And then the next time your knees fall towards the right side, just leave them there in a variation of supine twist. And take your arms out to a T shape. Keep the shoulder blades flat onto the mat. I'm going to look over my left wrist here. You can bring the left knee on top of the right knee if you want to get more of a stretch in the lower back. And bring the knees up towards the right wrist. Good. And then your next inhale, bringing the knees back to the center. And then exhale to the opposite side. So again, you can bring the knees further apart like they were in the windscreen wiper way, or you can bring the right knee on top of the left. Looking over that right wrist, keeping the shoulder blades flat to the mat. Bring the knees up towards the left wrist if you want more of a stretch here. Good, and then your next inhale, bringing the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a big final hug here. Rotate the ankles one way. And then the opposite way. Any clicking or popping is just release of tension in the joints. Maybe bring your ankles in opposite directions. Good. We'll grab the outside of the soles of our feet and then bringing our forehead up towards the knees, just releasing the neck and the lower back here. Good. And then unraveling yourself. If you want to put on some warm clothing at this point, you can. We're going to come into Savasana. So just get yourself nice and comfy. I'm going to put my layers on myself. And then we're going to come to lie flat onto the mat. Or you can sit in seated position as well. Whatever you feel more comfortable in. I'm going to stay on my back today. Good, and then once you're comfortable, we're just going to make sure we're nice and relaxed. You can come into butterfly pose, lying down like I am, or you can have your legs flat out, whatever you feel comfortable with. And just take a moment here to slow down the breathing rate. Becoming aware of the natural rhythm of your breath here. Noticing if you feel any different compared to the start of the class. Or if you feel the same. There's no right or wrong, it's simply just observing your own body at this moment. Maybe come back to the intention that you set, how you want to feel today, what you want to achieve today. Maybe noticing if there's anything niggling on your mind that you can have time to address now. Simply notice how it makes you feel. Good. We'll place one hand onto her belly, one hand onto her chest, and again just breathing. Feeling her belly button moving in towards the spine and the chest rise towards the left palm. And then on an exhale, feeling the belly button coming towards the right palm, the chest moving away from the left palm. Just taking this moment to accept ourselves as we are. We don't need to change anything. We just need to accept ourselves for all the good and all the bad. We are perfect as we are. Good. Now that we bring your arms back to the side, start to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. If you're lying down, if you're seated, maybe move the head from one side to another. Just waking up the body a little bit more again. If you're lying flat, maybe give yourselves a big overhead stretch. Pointing the toes, flexing the fingertips. If you're seated, bringing the arms out overhead, flexing the fingers. Good. And then if you're laid down, maybe rolling yourself onto one side. If you're seated, just placing the palms onto the knees, rolling the shoulders up and back. If you're laid down, just start to press yourself into a seated position. With the eyes still closed here, if you had them closed. Good. Starting to come back into the moment. Just noticing how we feel. Feeling that change of blood flow. Everything's been spun round, change of energy. I'm going to bring our palms together, rub the soles of our hands together, placing them on top of our eyes. If your eyes are closed, you're starting to gently blink your eyes open, bringing the palms down to heart center. Thank you so much for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed that session and got a little bit more energy from it. I know I certainly needed it. Thank you again. If you've got any comments, please do let me know. I'm very new, qualified yoga teacher, so I'm very much finding my way on all of this, so any feedback is welcome. I'm here for you at the end of the day. I can practice yoga whenever I want, but the reason I'm doing this is because I want to help others get into it. So if you notice anything that you like or you could see improvements on, please do let me know, because I don't know if you don't tell me. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you all very soon. Thank you.